Hello, and welcome to Kinship Connections. I'm Deidre Razak. I'm a training and coaching specialist with the Vermont Child Welfare Training Partnership. Today, Joan Rock and I will be leading you through class. Joan, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, I'm Joan Rock. I'm the Foster and Kin Care Manager for the Family Services Division.
So today we'll be talking about deepening connections with kids through play and humor. There are 3 sections to this class: reasons to play, what play means for kinship caregivers, and ways to play. And one caveat, we are filming this at home, and so there are kids and dogs. If you hear any noise, we apologize in advance. So if you're joining us on a call, we'll send you a list of the ideas that we shared today after the call. And if you're watching online, you'll find a resource list below the video. So, objectives of the class today. There are 3 things that we're going to focus on today. One is, why is play important for kids and the adults in their lives, particularly kinship caregivers? 2, ways to infuse your daily life with play and humor, even when you're tired or overwhelmed. 3, strategies and resources to be playful with children and youth of all ages and developmental levels. So the importance of play is backed by science. Science tells us that in order to thrive, children need responsive relationships, core life skills, and they need to reduce sources of stress. And play in early childhood is an effective way of supporting all 3 of these principles. Studies also show that play improves memory and stimulates the growth of brain cells. Play can also help kids move beyond trauma. So play is really important. It supports kids in so many ways. Adults need to play too. Play for adults is vital in our stressful lives. Play has been shown to release endorphins, improve brain function, and stimulate creativity. It can even help to keep us young and feel energetic. So as we go through the call, we'll look more at how play supports us and a lot of ways you can play. We're going to look at some play types. You could enjoy more than one of these, and maybe you can't stand one of them, but we're going to look at 5 of them today. So rough and tumble play is the kind of play that helps us develop emotional regulation as well as cognitive, emotional, and physical mastery. And what it can look like is things like tug of war, scavenger hunts, wrestling. And so for children with trauma histories, you have to be cautious about what you allow. You have to think hard about what their physical and emotional needs are when you think about this kind of play. Ritual play. Ritual play is play that lets us create and strategize and design and engage activities that bring people together for a common purpose or goal. Imaginative play. Imaginative play is really about letting our imaginations run wild. So remember when you were a child and you had so much fun living out your fantasies and your ideas. Things like storytelling, coloring, and acting are all part of imaginative play. So body play is the kind of play that helps us feel like we're defying gravity. And that includes things like yoga, hiking, biking, riding roller coasters. And object play is about manipulating objects and building and designing. So using those 5 little animals at the bottom of the screen, stuffed animals, Legos, things like that are all part of object play. Stuffed animals, building forts. So it's important to think about the trauma history of the child that in your care when you think about any of these kinds of play, because it's possible that any of them could be triggering. So you just need to pay attention to the needs of the particular child in your home. So we're going to pause for a moment and give you time to think about which play types are you and the people you love. So pause for a moment. You can think, you can write, you can draw about which types of play all of you really prefer. And just knowing this can help you breathe a sigh of relief. It can help you understand what you enjoy and what the others in your home enjoy, and also why sometimes you might butt heads around what it is you want to play or how you want to play, because you have different preferences. So it's important to think about developing a play rhythm. That can be really helpful. So we just asked you to think about the kinds of play that you and the children in your home prefer. So you can use this knowledge to think about how you can create a rhythm in your home that works for everyone. You'll also need to consider schedules and times of low and high energy for all of you. And all of this can help you learn to balance. So an example of this might be if you're raising your grandchildren and they favor body play, rough and tumble play, and you favor imaginative play and ritual play. So during part of the day, the kids could be riding bikes, running in the yard, things like that. But you don't necessarily have to be riding the bike. You could be watching on the sidelines enthusiastically and comment or cheer, and they will still feel connected to you even if you're not doing the activity. So your presence is what matters most. And then in the evening, you could sit together and draw or play a board game, and the kids might still be bouncing or crouching and jumping while they draw or play the game, but they're also learning other ways to play.
So what does play mean for you? Sometimes kinship caregivers don't see how their relationship has changed. As a kinship caregiver, you go from being the fun relative to also being the taskmaster. Previously, you might have taken them to the movies and then brought them home and dropped them off. Now, you're also telling them to do their homework and stop fighting with their siblings. Play helps the child remember the playful parts of your relationship rather than only focusing on you enforcing the rules and telling them what to do. Play helps you deepen your connection. Building connections when everyone is happy and regulated is like putting on your rain gear before you go outside into a storm. Play helps you build and maintain a relationship that can withstand challenges. So what gets in the way of play? Parenting through trauma. It can be hard to think about playing if a child is triggered or feeling challenged. Adjusted parenting. You've gone from the fun relative to the taskmaster. You have to think about so much more when the child is living with you. It takes a lot of effort. Low energy levels and illness. With these two, you might need to enlist some help. Other family members or friends might need to support you and your family. You might need to use more screen time for the kids, coloring, or things that are just quiet inside of the house. Relationships with other family members are different now. A child might resist playing with you the way they played with their parent, or they may feel sad and miss that parent. You might feel resentful at having to play more when you previously had more time to yourself. How do you play when you just don't feel like it? Mindfulness. Your presence without distraction is really what matters to children. And sometimes you might need to prioritize play over household chores. You might not always do that, but there may be times when the kids really need you to focus on that. Intention. Notice what you need and what the child needs. Look for ways to meet both of your needs. Find your rhythm. Action doesn't have to be active, like we mentioned before. If they're riding a bike and you're talking to them, they still feel like you're a part of what they are doing. You can be playful without playing. One of my favorite activities with my granddaughter was to sit on the floor while I was drinking coffee in the morning and let her build Legos around me. She just made a little Lego wall around me. You could read with funny voices. You could also let the children dress you up, brush your hair, put lotion on you, or play with your hands. While it's important to take care of yourself and not push yourself beyond your limits, there is something to be said for pushing yourself a little bit, being comfortable with discomfort. Whenever we learn a new skill, it feels uncomfortable at first. If you see that some of the play styles of children in your home are different from your own, challenge yourself to spend a few minutes each day thinking of new ways to play and actually playing in those new ways. Let's pause here. Think about your answers to these questions. You can write them down or just think about them. How has play helped you build your relationship with a child? What has gotten in the way of playing? What do you think of learning to be comfortable with discomfort? As we go through the next section, keep in mind the ages and developmental stages of the children and youth in your home. Pay attention to what these different kinds of play might look like at the different stages and ages.
So here are some ways to communicate effectively using play and humor. You could create surprises and humor in your home environment and your daily routines that keep kids feeling seen and heard and motivated to be in relationship with you. You can connect through wordless games, especially partnering games and activities. And you can notice the child's preferences, take an interest in their skills and hobbies, and then build on sharing those preferences. In the next slides, we'll look at examples of each of these.
Here are some ways that you can use humor around the house. Put a joke-a-day calendar on the kitchen table. Watch funny movies or shows together. Write and perform a rap for your family. Read school assignments and act them out like charades.
And here are some ways to create surprises. You could put balloons in strange places, put googly eyes on things that shouldn't have them, turn the furniture upside down or paintings upside down. You can make food surprises like serving cupcakes for dinner, maybe not all the time, but once in a while. And some other ideas. You could change the clock to a different time, dress up your pet, use hair chalk or temporary dye, clothes swap, put on your child's clothes or your spouse's clothes, put notes that say I love you and give encouragement in unexpected places like their jeans pockets or shower doors or in a textbook.
Here are some ways to connect through games or wordless partnering. Propose a daily fitness challenge. Make family art or do a continuous drawing on a big piece of flip chart paper that's always on the wall. Have Scrabble tiles or magnetic poetry around for messages or poems. Color together to music. Some other ideas are throwing, kicking, and catching almost any type of ball, but you can start with a soft koosh ball, tennis ball, and work your way up to water balloons or a frisbee, soccer, basketball. You can do two-person chores like folding sheets or washing and drying dishes. You could wash the dog together or do jigsaw puzzles.
You can share preferences with one another. So they can be a fun way to connect. You can choose my outfit day, where you get to choose what the child wears and they get to choose what you wear, or you could do each other's makeup. You could have favorite music sessions where everybody in the house gets to pick out a song or songs that they love, and you make a playlist and everyone listens together. You could make funny masks of favorite TV characters and have a conversation as the characters, or you could make masks of friends or relatives and use those in character. You can notice the child's preferred colors and add a little something with that color into everything you do with the child that day. Oh.
So what do you think? I want to thank you for joining us. We hope we've given you some useful ideas and also some ways to build connections with the children and youth in your lives. We also hope you'll remember that play helps all of us to thrive. Keep trying new forms of play. Have a great day.